Ralph here, and welcome to True Power Trumpet Fitness on this wonderful Wednesday here in Connecticut. Beautiful fall day, sunlight just streaming in the windows. A little too cold in the morning for me to get out and ride my bike and throw and all that sort of stuff. So I got some practicing done this morning. I'm going to get this video up and then I'm going to go throw some balls when I'm done. Okay, I did about an hour and a half, which is quite a bit for me. I usually do about 30, 45 minutes. So let's see if I've got anything left, and we'll talk about Harry GLANTZ, Jerry's idol. All right. Anyway, locked in, baby. And that is just with PNF. I did kettlebells yesterday. Feel a little stiff and sore today because I haven't done it for a while. So I'm going to put them away and get back to the PNF. Anyway, so Harry GLANTZ. Jerry just gushed. Just absolutely gushed when he talked about Harry GLANTZ. Now, Harry GLANTZ, New York Philharmonic and NBC Symphony under Toscanini. We'll get to that in a second. But he also played first in Philadelphia and San Francisco and all over the place. And Jerry, being a Pennsylvania native in Pittsburgh, which isn't quite bad, he did go hear him quite a bit in Philadelphia. He also heard him, with the NBC Symphony, Toscanini and all that. And Jerry said, the sound was magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. There's nothing he couldn't do. Up to a G. He was as big as a house. All the technique, could do anything. Now, back then, the orchestral seasons were not as long as they are today. The repertoire was not as expansive, not a lot of Mahler, Strauss, Wagner, and all that sort of stuff, a little bit. But, yeah, I mean, the tone was unbelievable. Now, you're going to hear it in a bit. Now, let me get this in sequence here. Now, Vacchiano, when he went to Juilliard, every morning, I think I told you this, every morning before he went to a class, would go to the library of Juilliard, and take out a recording of Harry GLANTZ playing Meyerbeer, Der Prophet, that big trumpet solo. Got the sound in his ear, played it once, twice, was off for the rest of the day. Okay? Because the sound was just extraordinary. And he said as he got older, and Vacchiano was playing with him, his technique, I guess, really slowed down. So something like Petrushka could be a bit of a hassle for him. He says, but the tone never left. And it's like, he says he was exaggerating to prove a point. But he says towards the end, like all he could play was half notes. But it was just so extraordinary to listen to. Well, you'll hear it. Okay? Now, second of all, before I even get to the clip, take a look at those chops. Look at how beautiful they are. Look at how relaxed they are. Do they remind you of somebody? The aesthetic part of the chops, does that remind you of somebody? That's Maurice. Oh, yeah. That's Maurice. And if you look at both of them, it looks like their bottom lip is up around their top teeth. Mm-hmm. Yep. Locked in, baby. All that compression. Now, this clip that you're going to listen to is just some orchestral excerpts. And a couple of them, Brahms' Second Symphony, that absolutely nightmarish solo. That is probably the softest thing you will ever have, softest and most exposed thing you will ever have. It's a solo. So even though it's supposed to be soft, you still have to be heard. A lot of the stuff you can play soft enough and you can get lost and nobody cares. This had to be heard, and it's brutal. It comes at a very, very tough part of the symphony, trust me. And you've been sitting around for a while, so your chops are a little cold, blah, blah, blah. It's brutal, okay? He does it beautifully. Then he goes into the Pines of Rome, and the thing, again, off stage, but just glorious. Intonation, now that's another thing. Toscanini supposedly had the most fanatical, maniacal ears as far as intonation and whatnot was concerned. And he could stop like third viola. Your A flat in the second beat is a little flat. Be careful. I mean, extraordinary stuff. And supposedly, when it was possible, and Toscanini was out working with other orchestras, he wouldn't go across the street unless he could bring Harry Glantz with him. Now, that's the greatest, most crazy ears and intonation, and he wanted this guy with him. All right? Now, once again, back to the excerpts. You listen to it, and Pines of Rome. And, okay, the second one is Beethoven's Leonore Call. Listen to the pop. Right there, you don't have to know anything else. This guy can play. It's just a C arpeggio. Oh, pop, pop, pop. Del Stegers, go home. We don't need you. All right? Also, one more thing. Frank Katarabic, who I met years ago, studied with Harry Glantz, and he studied with the time when Harry Glantz was retired, all but bent over with extreme arthritis in his hands, in his back, and everything. Killed it. Up to high G's, just killed it. And that's another thing I got to tell you. Vacchiano ripped me off. I don't know how it got there. I had a a Con 5 mouthpiece in my case. And out of the blue, Vacchiano, what's that, Salamone? I don't know, it's a Con 5. I like it. He says, let me hear you play it. It sounds good. And he says, I'll buy that off you for $5. Go back to the Bach. Okay? All right, I'll take the $5. Take my girl out for a pizza, right? Anyway, I didn't know at the time. That was Harry Glantz's mouthpiece. And Vacchiano played a couple notes on it. I said, it's a pea shooter. We got to bore it out. He just ruined one of the greatest mouthpieces ever. I didn't know. And he stiffed me for $5. I should have held him up for 500. All right? But I saw in a picture from the internet, and I put it up on the screen, he was using that mouthpiece to... Anyway. And then, I think it's the fourth excerpt, the Grand March from Aida. Listen to that tone he's covered. Now, that's a solo. Well, it's not really a solo. It's leading the way from the Aida. But just, you talk about a tone and power and center and pop. Unbelievable. And he finishes with, you got it. Pictures. Perfecto. Perfecto. But what I got to get off now. We're getting a little long-winded. But I want you to notice something about those pictures. Okay? And turn the tape off here and just listen to the tape again, the clip again, and look at the pictures. And what do you notice? He did, guys, come back. You back? He did them all on B-flat trumpet. Guys, that is scary. That is scary. That's like what they're doing. Oh, man. That's some scary shit. Poop, I'm sorry. Anyway, he get that sound. You know what he sound like? Sound like Harry James without the vibrato. Anyway, Guys, I got to go throw some balls around. Have a great day, and we'll talk again tomorrow. Love you all.